Sweet? Oh, right, Sheriff. I think I got it. Right, ABC. O-I-E-S. C-O-I-E-S. Right, baby. They say that they don't like your trouble. I'm gonna rock them from now on. I said, the little kiddies, they like what I do. I'm gonna get them tired of me, baby, you must say. I'll be a freak, so come on and wind me up. I'll be a freak, so come on and wind me up.
Hello, this is Charles Harper.
And I'm Damali Wilson.
We getting fired up for... We got a whole lot of...
Ladies and gentlemen,
the all-new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
Welcome to the show that talks about Tulsa, people making a difference in the Tulsa community. Special guest interviews, spotlighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about, the hot topics, and more. This is World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper and Miss Damali Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio or watching us on Facebook Live or on www.KBOB899.com, which is this radio station's live stream. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Damali Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, September 8th, 2021. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. We are set for an exciting show, you guys. You better call your mom and them and tell them that you can call in at 918-856-3873 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed at World One Development.
So on today's show, part 3 of our conversation, Black in America, let's talk about us. What are we and how are we faring?
Is chivalry dead in 2021 in the Black community? Do you feel men are taking care of the women like they should? We're going to talk about it.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics, which are Justice for Julius Jones, Hurricane Larry's about to wreak havoc, remembering those who lost their lives 20 years ago. Find out what a Tennessee mother did to help kids returning to school. Birthdays, hot topics, and more.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM, and we'll be right back.
Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to call my name. I'm sure you that I went. Your love of mine. All those times I said that I...
EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
Fitting Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM, and we are back.
So News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things, one, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
I'm Charles Harper, Executive Director of World One Development, which includes Fitting Back In, EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and Oklahoma Community Support Coalition. My job, because the world wants to know, is financial stability and infrastructure for our community development projects, and I am so excited and I am so elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson, Executive Director of Operations for World One Development. And my job is creating, monitoring, and enforcing protocol for each of our community development projects. I am also in charge of social media for all of the World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I'm also happy and elated to be one of the creators of this show.
Damali.
Hey.
How art thou doing?
I am well. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's hump day. I heard today is supposed to be the hottest day of the week.
That's why I got on my new gear here.
I seen you made a good little move.
News You Can Use tank top.
You know, yes. I came in. When I heard you had that come in, I said, I'm not even going to wear nothing with News You Can Use on it, because I don't feel like I'm up to par to deal with you. So you made a move on me.
I did.
It's kind of like, have you ever been racing somebody in the car? You got a Camaro, so I'm sure you've done that before.
Yes.
And you're doing good and your little bucket doing all it can do, and you look behind you and you see them turn that signal light on.
Right.
Then you know what that means. They get ready to come around and you can't do nothing but drop your head.
It's over.
You made me drop my head today. But it's all good. It's all good. It's a good day in the neighborhood.
We telling everybody, y'all better get this merch. Y'all saw the cups last week, our little mugs that we had. And so this week I got a shirt. So next week, AJ and Twinkie, y'all stuff is on the way.
Our ambassadors.
Yes, it's on the way.
The first week in October, we're going to have our ambassador for Georgia coming up next. So you people down there in Georgia, y'all get ready. You'll be the next one that's going to get that swag bag with all of the good stuff. Damali, it's a great day today.
It is.
Man, it's so crazy right now. It's just a great day just to be alive.
You know what? You telling the truth now, for real.
I mean, because it's like we right back in the middle of the pandemic.
Man, once again.
I know. We got to find a way to get better,
Yeah.
So for everybody that's tuning in, let me say this first. We had about 25 to 30 of our secret guests.
Hey, y'all. We see y'all.
We appreciate our secret guests. We love y'all. And one day we're going to let you just pull right on up in here.
Right.
And let everybody see exactly who you are. You pull off your mask and your shades and let us know. Hey, let's do some quick shout out. Mom is on.
Hey, Mama.
Mom, I'm hungry today. I ain't even going to lie. And just seeing your name reminded me
yes.
that my appetite is off the charts right now. I see Mr. AJ from Jacksonville, Arkansas.
AJ.
The J-Bone Lounge. It goes down. Our first ambassador out of that great state of Arkansas. We got Mr. Polo Powell from St. Louis.
Hey.
He's in the building. We got Captain Blue. That's Mr. Elvis Stewart that's in the building. What's going on with your frat?
Right.
We also got many others. We got Johnny Martin Sr. Welcome to the show.
I see my sister Teresa is on.
That's my sister. You better show me some love today, Teresa. I'm on your side. We got Mr. Jeremiah Blackwell Jr., a.k.a. Maestro Sigalo.
Hey.
Leave it parked right there because you ain't ready for the rest. Hey, we got Mr. Cornelius Dixon. We call him Corn. We call him Cowboy Blue. He was in Arkansas. Now he's in Killeen, Texas, handling this business. Thanks for chiming in. And I see my niece, Javetta. That's like my niece, a.k.a. little sister.
Right.
She down there in H-Town holding it down.
Okay.
Much love going her way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to get this show started. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Make sure you lock in right now if you want to. Share this video because we're going to get into the stuff that everybody's talking about. We're going to talk a little bit about this thing called chivalry. But before we go there, we would like to thank and appreciate our first responders, healthcare professionals, food providers, restaurant workers, and essential workers for their services on the front lines during this time. It's great how organizations and churches in the community are coming together to help those in the community during this coronavirus epidemic.
Absolutely. And before we get started, we want to send prayers to the family of Michael K. Williams. If you don't know, he was found dead in his New York apartment on Monday, 54 years old. Apparently he died of a drug overdose, and throughout the years, he's been very transparent about his drug addiction and his struggles with that disease. If he was, most of you might know him as Omar on the show The Wire.
That's how I know him. And I'm telling y'all, for all y'all people that love power and you love little Tyreek with his bad self and all that stuff that's going on, if you would have got a load of Wire,
yes,
you better find it on your Netflix, find it on something.
That's right.
Boy, that was a show right there.
He was also on Boardwalk Empire and Lovecraft Country as well. So, prayers to that family, because that is just very disturbing and it's sad. And, it's one of those things where I think about, the pandemic really has caused depression with a lot of people. And so a lot of them are using as coping mechanisms, they're self-medicating.
Right.
And to their demise. Some of people, it's to their demise, So, just prayers for that family, because that's just very unfortunate, very great actor, and just a huge loss for our community.
Let me tell you right now, now's the time that you definitely check on your siblings, check on your parents.
Absolutely.
Check on your kids, cousins, friends, people you haven't seen in a while, because I'm getting too many text messages about people that I knew personally, that I went to college with, I went to high school with, somebody I may not have talked to 5-10 years, and they gone.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting right in them 40s, and I'm like, man, that's a little too early to be, it's never a good time.
He was 54 years old. I'm 53.
I say 53 years young.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's pretty young.
So, but anyway, so prayers to that family, we want you guys to keep praying for my cousin, Philip Washington, and, sending those prayers up, don't forget to go to our GoFundMe, to try to, help out if you can, that would be very much appreciated. His wife and daughter would very much appreciate that. He's still fighting a good fight,
Absolutely.
Still fighting a good fight.
And we got a lot of people on today. I don't know if it's because of the shirt you got on or what's going on around here, but
it's the merch.
We got Melissa. She's tuning in. Thanks. And if you tuning in, if I just say your name, if you let me know where you're from, I'll shout out your city. I see Gary Surrance. He from all the way from California. You out there in that Bay Area. Gary, that's my boy, my business partner. I appreciate you tuning in out there on that West Coast.
Yeah, I see Michael Brewer is on as well.
Michael's in the building. Michael, good to see you on.
Yes.
Hey, we got an exciting show for you guys today. We need you to chime in as much as possible, because this is about us, not just Damali. We still rolling on our series that's called Being Black in America.
Yes.
Let's talk about us.
Yes.
Of course, we done talked about white supremacy. We done talked about the KKK. We done talked about disparities and food deserts, and we've talked about all that.
Right.
But at some point, Grandma call you in.
Yeah.
Not that we Grandma, but she say, okay, let's talk about us and what we need to do.
Right.
Let's sit around the table. I wish I had some food. Eat a little potatoes and green beans and some peach cobbler. You know how we do.
Right.
And let's talk about the things we need to do to love on each other, to be there for each other as a community and as a family in 2021. Right.
So if you missed the show last week, we had Lieutenant DeLauren Sanders in with a police report.
Yes.
And of course, we talked about black on black crime. Right. And so it was a very interesting, segment. Right. And so I think if you guys did not get the opportunity to check that out, you need to go and check it out.
That was an awesome show.
It was. It
and
really was.
Do this, because Damali posts like every 30 minutes. So if you go to World One Development, don't just stroll because you got a problem, right? You don't want to get no cramp in your finger. So just click on videos,
right?
And then you can find it pretty quick. Damali, the one thing we want to talk about, being black in America, let's talk about us. The first thing is just trying to understand how many of us are even in the United States of America. So this is a time that if you're listening in, you can do your little homework in your own state. And we're not going to stay on it long. We're going to hit it, and we're going to get on to this real deal conversation.
Right. So we have some numbers from the Kaiser Family Foundation. And as of April 26, 2021, Black people only comprise 12.2% of the United States population.
Well, how many
so
people
that's about 40 million people.
How many people in the United States?
That's 331 million.
So it's 331 million people in the United States of America.
Right.
And black people only make up what percentage of that?
12.2.
Man, you said that's what, 30 million, 40 million?
40 million.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. So, and then in Oklahoma, the population, we're about at 4 million is our population.
Right.
And 7.2% are black folks.
7.2%.
Right here where we live.
Of 4 million.
Right.
You see where we're going, guys? We're talking about the United States. Now, we're in the state of Oklahoma. Now, let's bring it on in to Tulsa, where we are today.
In Tulsa, we have about 1 million people total. And black folks comprise about 15.24% of that.
I'm a numbers guy. That means we got about, in Tulsa, that means we got about 150,000 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we're doing this, being black in America, let's talk about us, because I feel like we do so many things that are against each other, that don't have nothing to do with things outside of us.
Right.
And we don't have to we have to understand we got to do better, because here it is. I'm not saying what it is. I'm not trying to just create nothing, but it could be a real war coming one of these days, and you're going to need your brothers and sisters. We can't be knocking each other off.
Right.
And you look around and
there's not enough of us at all.
And I'm gonna implement this. I'm going to all the schools. I might get in trouble. I'm gonna say it anyway.
Here we go,
I'm gonna go get a whole lot of little sticks and go around to all these schools. And when people want to scuffle and get it on, we gonna stop shooting each other. I'm gonna start putting that stick on that shoulder, because everybody from the old school know if you knock that stick off,
it's a roll in the dirt.
It's a roll in the dirt, but you get to go home.
Exactly.
You get to see your mama and your daddies and your brothers and sisters. And you get to go back to school the next day.
Exactly.
We're not having a funeral of a 15-year-old.
Right.
The stick just gets you a little dust on your back.
Right. Exactly. That's right.
I'm off my soapbox.
I mean, that's absolutely the truth. You know, I mean, the world nowadays, we've become so desensitized to shooting and killing and murder. And, you know, I mean, we're just desensitized to it. It's like, oh, you know, that just happened. Oh, okay. Well, that's, you know, just like brushing your teeth. It's no big deal, you know, and it shouldn't be that way.
Do you think it's the video games a little bit?
Oh, I hate video games.
You hate them?
I hate the violent. Let me just rephrase. I hate the violent video games.
Right.
I mean, because you watch some of these video games, and for one, some of them are so real they look like you're watching a movie.
I know. I can agree with
that.
And
then you got people running around stealing cars and shooting people and stabbing folk and telling what kind of mess is this? This is crazy.
I think one day my son was and one of my grandsons, they was playing the game. I sat in there. I thought I was looking at a movie.
Right.
Like the whole 30
stuff
minutes.
Blowing up and all kind of crazy
then my grandson was like, Papa, you want to play? I'm like, play what? I'm not an actor. I can't get on. Oh, no, this is a game. I said, my God.
Exactly.
But anyway, Damali.
They're desensitized.
We're going to get down to the real deal. Chivalry.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. Hey, y'all don't lose us now. Let's just talk about Damali. Is chivalry dead?
Well, some people tend to think so. So let's just go first of all to
get a little
beginning.
history. See, Damali, you always doing all this research. You see what I'm saying? See, y'all see what I got to deal with. See, when Damali come in, you can't just talk about something. She's going to go give you the backstory on it. She's going to give you the history so you can put it in the right kind of context.
Right, in the perspective, right.
So go ahead, Professor Damali.
Stop it. I am not. So for those of you who don't even know what chivalry is, chivalry might be a big word for some people and they don't even know what it is or what it even means.
Right.
So chivalry, according to Webster's dictionary, is a gallant or distinguished gentleman.
Okay.
That's what they say.
I can go with that.
Originally, it was used, the term came about because it was used to refer to knights in the days of King Arthur, back in medieval times.
So you're talking about the black knights with all of the armor on with the big sword?
Whatever, yeah.
Something like that?
Those guys.
I just want to make sure I'm following you.
So it comes from the French word for knight, meaning chevalier.
Okay.
And during the Middle Ages, chivalry was essentially a tool developed to rein in the behaviors and to enforce responsibilities of the medieval Christian knights.
Wow.
So apparently, as I was doing my research, I discovered that knights were going buck wild.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't know it. Knights were going around robbing folks. They were killing folks. They were raping women. They were just going buck wild.
Oh, man.
I mean, like for real. And it got so bad that the code of chivalry was designed and designated or designed by the church because they wanted to show that the knights could be revered, and because they was like, this is too much. We can't have.
So you saying that the Lord had to step in.
Yes.
Now, it's one thing when we can't call the police.
Yeah.
We can't call none of these people. We got to call on the Lord, is what it sounds like, to try to get this stuff in order.
They said, look, I found in one article that I read, chivalry came into being because these powerful men, meaning the knights, were raping, looting, and murdering a little too much for the church's taste.
Wow.
So they came up with 5 rules called the Code of Chivalry. Okay. So one, you had to fear God.
Now, hold on. You got to give people time to get their pen and their pad out.
Okay.
Get your iPad out.
They should have already had their pen and pad out.
Get your smartphone out. Go call the kids. Tell the kids if they're at home.
They at school.
Distant learning. Tell them to come on up. Get this stuff down. You need to know this. Okay, I'm ready.
So one, they had to fear God and his church.
Oh, okay.
For 2, they had to serve the Lord in valor and faith.
Right.
3, they had to live by honor and for glory. 4, they had to protect the weak and defenseless. And 5, they had to respect the honor of women.
Wow.
So that was the code that they had to operate by according to the church, the Christian church, because they were like, y'all just doing too much and y'all just going too buck wild. And, we can't tolerate this as a church. So this is what you're going to have to do to be considered honorable.
Man, that's tough. Let me say this right quick, Damali. It's the fact that when you named all the stuff that was going on, that can sometimes sound familiar to what's going on in 2021.
Absolutely.
But man, what you said that just ringing loud in my headphones is the church.
The church said it.
The church stepped in and said y'all doing too much.
That's too much.
The church, Damali, think about that. The church stepped in and said y'all are looting and killing and raping and disrespecting women. So we gonna step in and give y'all the rules. And it sounds like you had to follow these rules if they stepped in.
Exactly.
It sounds like you got real quick.
And so that's basically where chivalry came from.
Okay.
So that's where the concept of being kind to women and not disrespecting women. And typically it was in the context of a damsel in distress. So check this out. I even read at one point in the same article, they were saying that men or these knights, if they fought another knight for a woman, then they had to treat her with respect. Right.
Wow.
But and otherwise, if they just ran across a woman and she was walking and, then they didn't have to treat her with respect. They could do with her as they pleased during those times.
That was crazy. Is that why women start carrying little knives and stuff?
Probably.
Why women start getting pepper spray and little shanks, and women like, man, if I'm by myself at the park walking, minding my own business, if I'm by myself and without a knife, you got the right to do whatever you want. Boy, that was some crazy times right there.
Yeah.
And let's bring it like a little bit more realistic to 2021 chivalry.
So what we consider now in 2021, I hear a lot of women talk about how men are disrespectful.
Right.
In our communities, in our Black communities.
Right.
And I will say this in men's defense, because I was raised with 6 men at a young age.
But
right.
First, we got to do this. You still got to answer the question: is chivalry dead?
I think it's on life support.
It's on life support.
Yeah, so it might not be dead all the way, but it's
And you said you're 53, so you're right in the middle of it, in the middle of life, and for you to be a person that's educated, that's smart, that's professional, that's loving and kind, and help your community, for you to feel like it's on life support. That's a tough situation to be in right now for the brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, a person, I'm a person who was raised with, I have 5 older cousins.
Right.
And then my brother, who is a year younger than me, a year and a half younger than me.
5 older cousins, what? Sisters, brothers? What?
No, male cousins.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that means
I
you
was raised with all boys.
That means you was raised with the knights. Because I know your cousins. I know Jube. If they listening in, I know y'all out there. So you had the Black Knights with you.
Right. And so by me being raised with all of those guys, then I was, protected.
Right.
Sometimes a little too much, I'm like, okay, go away. I'm trying to have friends, know. But I think that, that they kind of gave me a sense of, and I always felt like, if somebody disrespected me, I'm gonna call my cousin or, I'm gonna call my brother and they're gonna beat you up. You know what I'm saying?
Unpack on life support a little more. What does being on life support?
Well, so what I mean by that, and I started with that story to say that, as I was a child growing up, I always felt protected, right? And I always felt like, somebody was, there looking out for me. However, the older I got, then you started watching the way men dealt with women.
Right.
And it's simple stuff like, opening a door. That's stuff that I teach my grandsons right now. You open up the door for a woman. You make sure that you do this or you do that. You pack the groceries. You don't, let us go and pack all the groceries and you sitting here playing video games.
Right.
That's what we're not going to do.
This is what we want.
Yeah.
Hold on to the groceries because you made me hungry. I already told you I was hungry. But hold on to the groceries. Because some people out here you saying it's not dead. What I want you to do is say, is it dead? Is it not? And just a little something why, so we can bring that over the air. So
sure.
Pastor Allen said it's not dead, but Pastor Allen, go a little bit farther than that. Give us a sentence or two.
Tell us why you think it's not.
Back to the grocery that just made me hungry.
Right. So we teach, we teach my grandsons, take out the trash. Your mama shouldn't have to go take out the trash. That's what you go and take out the trash.
Right.
You pump the gas, you cut the yard.
Right.
It's just some things that are inherently, a more of a male duty. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be watching out for your little cousins. Don't let nobody just come up and abuse your cousins and stuff. So I think that what is happening in today's society, and a lot of times, I hear, women my age and in my age group, talk about how men don't do this and men don't do that. Well, let's just kind of unpack that for a minute. What are we teaching our men?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What are we teaching them? And we know that in our society today, there are a lot of single parent households. There are a lot of moms raising male children.
Right.
Right. And so and I think that there are a lot of old school guys. Now, don't get me wrong, because I love my old school guys. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand, and are from that era where they believed in chivalry.
Hold on. So all of the listeners with a Cadillac. That's who she's talking about, y'all. All the brothers with the Cadillac and the Escalades. That's who she's talking about. Y'all are welcome in her camp.
But I think that we have run into a generation where a lot of men are spoiled by grandmas and grandpas, or grandmas in particular. I'll say that because they are used to being given, oh, that's my baby. Let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. Which showed, trained your mind that women should be servants to you.
So this is you saying this is becoming the mama's boys is what you're saying?
Right.
It's all right to be a mama's boy.
But you got to draw that line in the sand.
You got to know that line because I think it's good to be a mama's boy. To love your mom and be there. Your mom rub on you. Hey, baby, you look good. Look you.
Right.
But at the same time, how do you balance that out so when you leave the house, you're still not expecting that same thing from maybe a girlfriend and then your wife because it's a different role that they play.
And so I hear a lot of women say, man, I got married, and my husband think I'm supposed to, he's supposed to lay in the house on the couch while I'm at work working, it's just stuff like, and it's like, where did you get this from? But that's because grandma, baby, you don't have to do nothing. Grandma gonna take care of you. I just got in for work. Let me go change my shoes and I'm gonna go in the kitchen and I'm gonna cook dinner and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that for you. Well, what is he gonna do?
All right, let me add a little something to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is chivalry dead? Coming from Brother Charles. I won't say it's dead, but it's dead-ish. It ain't dead.
That's the same thing as being on life support.
No, it's not. I said my dead-ish. Now you got to go define what is dead-ish. Yes. And the reason why I say that, Damali, is I'm saying it depends on where you located. It depends on who you're around. And it's definitely sometimes can be culture. So I know we're just talking about us, but sometimes when you're dealing with different cultures, because now in the United States, you got a lot of different cultures that are just different from just the traditional cultures that back in the day when it was probably mainly more just black and white.
Right.
So cultures are a little different. I'm going to add that to it. And if you ask me what you can park a lot of this stuff, and this is just Charles Hopper 101. This is why I'm saying it's dead-ish. I say the music. I say the music because
good point.
When I was young and the music that I was listening to would kind of dictate how I would treat the women when I see them.
That's right.
When you will never find a love quite like mine.
Yes, come
and stuff like that you get. Then all of the stuff was about respect and love and being a gentleman and I'll take care of you. And now when they got into I can't live without you and I can't breathe, and I'm like, I'm gonna get off that boat. I can still breathe if I don't have you, but keep sweating some of them. would go a little too far. Now, Keith Sweat, I can still breathe, and
Right.
I ain't gonna die without you.
Right.
I don't want nobody to commit suicide. But I would say music
Right.
kind of changed the trajectory of like chivalry.
Yeah.
Because now when you turn on the music on the radio station,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of I love you and I want to be there for
Mm-mm.
you and I'll do this,
You know,
this.
it's degrading names and
It's a drop that.
Yeah.
It's hard for somebody to drop that, and then go open the door for the drop that. I'm just saying
that's true.
that you have to kind of put it all together a little bit. But there are definitely places that you see a lot of chivalry where people are opening doors and doing, because you go into certain schools. I'm not gonna name those schools because I'm not from here and I don't want nobody looking for me.
Right.
But I've been to a few high schools.
Yes.
Certain high schools, young men are opening the door. How can I help you? How you doing? And all of that. Certain schools you go to, what you doing here, cuz? What you looking for? And ain't none of that going on. So a lot of it is just in the education.
So look, I found this article and this is what it says. Black women today are complaining about how black men are no longer chivalrous, while at the same time, black men are complaining about how today's independent feminist black women have been rejecting chivalry from black men with their I don't need a man attitudes.
You know what? There's a lot of that going on, Damali. I must
It
admit
is.
that is real, because you got some on fire, independent. It's like the roles are almost reversed.
But so then let's talk about this. How did that come to be?
No, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Hold on. Now we need to take a break because I need some water. And I ain't finna let this, I gotta do something for the brothers, because I can see a look in your eye and I'm not gonna be playing no games on no hump day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick little break. When we come back, how does this chivalry thing affect your relationships? And we're going to get into these comments.
Yes.
That sounds all right?
That sounds all right. Let's do it.
This is KBOB 89.9 FM. And stay locked in. We'll be right back.
How to order chicken wings. Number 1, find a good wing spot.
I know a wing spot, Max Wings.
Number 2, decide if you want a combo or if you want to order a la carte.
Huh? What's that?
Well, combos come with chicken, veggie sticks, fries, and a drink for a discounted price. A la carte means that you order each item separately.
Ah, okay.
3, decide if you want bone-in, boneless, or cauliflower wings, and then determine the delicious flavor you want on your wings.
I didn't even know cauliflower had wings.
You learn something new every day. Have you been to Max Wings?
Yep.
Max Wings is located at 782 East Pine Street in Tulsa. We're open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come to Max Wings, home of the dry rub fries.
This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. Damali.
Yes.
You still hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there. What's up?
And now I know you why you put a seatbelt on? Now we in the radio station, so you make me nervous, because when people put on a seatbelt, that means either they're unsafe or they finna do something to somebody.
No.
So it ain't that.
It ain't that.
Okay,
It
I just
ain't
wanna
that.
let y'all know.
We're just talking.
Well,
It's all love.
I
It's
tell you
all
what,
love.
we have a lot of people listening in. Damali
Right.
put on the seatbelt. So if y'all don't see me this evening,
Yeah.
call KBOB
Whatever.
and ask Bobby.
He ain't scared.
Now let's
He
do
ain't
this. Let's do this.
scared.
Let's do this. I feel like this is a little heavyweight match right here. That's how I feel now.
Counter punching.
But to do something like this, I think you have to have at least a referee.
Right.
So we need our listening audience to know. And then we're going to get to the questions that we do have a referee in the building.
Right.
And he's none other than the original person that put this whole Eden Media Service thing together, the whole KBOB and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Mr. Bobby Eden, how you doing, sir?
Hey. So is chivalry dead, right?
You know what? We over here, you see we struggling.
I see you guys are struggling over there.
We need a referee.
What you think, Bobby?
Okay, I think the newer generation and the young generation and young people don't even know what chivalry is.
Wow.
I think that's a old school term
Right.
that people used to do. Used to, like you said, Damali, take the old lady's groceries,
Yeah.
open up the car door
Yeah.
for if you're at the restaurant, pull the seat up. And,
Yeah.
there were some things back in the old times that they did, but now everybody's kind of like doing their own thing and doing whatever they want to. So it, like you said, it's in a dying stage.
Yeah.
It's on life. So you agree it's on life support?
I believe it's on life support. I believe that it has to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if you're not teaching chivalry, then that's what you got.
Yeah, that's
You know,
what you
they
got.
just don't know what it is. You know, I teach all my kids to respect women and things like that.
Right.
You know, and women should respect men as well.
Come on.
Because it's not all one-sided.
So let me tell you this. So this is something that I've noticed, right? So I've noticed in my lifetime,
right?
Okay, and I ain't calling nobody's names out. So ain't, you know, like Charles said, ain't nobody gonna come looking for me.
Right.
But I have noticed that, and Charles, I'm just gonna use you for an example, just because I think you are a chivalrous man, right?
I appreciate that.
Charles, sure.
But you didn't have to say that.
Yeah,
but why did you got your seatbelt on and then say that? No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Because I got my knife in my pocket.
See?
No, I'm just playing. But, you know, so I've seen Charles come out and, you know, he'll open up doors for women, and it don't make no difference who you are. He don't even know you. You know, if he see the prime example, the other day there was a lady she was in a motorized wheelchair, and her battery died. So it's hot. It's probably 110 degrees outside, you know, for real.
It's been hot lately.
Yeah. And so she's on the sidewalk. And so Charles saw her. And I saw him walking across the parking lot. I'm like, what is he doing? He goes out there and he actually pushes her up to the building and pushed her into the event center and let her sit there and charge her battery on her, you know, wheelchair. And the lady was looking at him like she didn't know what to do with that. You know, because she was like, you know, I can't believe he helped me. And he actually came and pushed me up here to the building. Everybody else just walked past and just left her there. You know, it's hot. You know, he went and got a bottle of water. You know, here's a bottle of water, you know, and told security, hey, she's going to sit here for a minute until her chair, you know, charges back up, you know, and everything. But he didn't have to do that, you know. And, you know, I noticed that some women, when guys do things like that, you know, when certain guys, then it's like some women think, oh, well, he likes me, or he's, you know, you know, they transfer that energy, and it's like he does that for everybody. He does that for all women.
You've got a few guys who still got that.
Sure.
You know, so there are a few. I say a few who still have that because they've been taught that way and raised that way to do those certain things. I mean, I know when I was coming up, we were opening up doors for everybody, and it was just a natural thing to do.
Right.
But now I've noticed, even with the females, if you open up doors for some females, younger females, they won't even say thank you.
That's rude.
They won't even
and
say.
That's straight rude.
I mean, you can go up to Quick Trip and open the door, and they just walk on out, won't smile at you, and just like it's nothing.
But let me ask you this: do you think they don't say that because they don't even know what to say? Because you said they don't even. Some of the young people don't even know what chivalry is. So you open the door, might not even register as a thank you. It's just you're just opening the door.
You're just opening the door.
You know, but I'm just saying, just looking at it from both angles. You opening the door is just you, the doorman.
Right.
It's no. And of course, the older ladies are always gonna say thank you, baby.
Yeah, they don't say thank you.
They're gonna look at you for 10 seconds.
You know what? And I think it's just, you know, maybe we just don't teach manners at all anymore. You know what I mean?
That's the key thing.
Yeah,
some don't.
You know, some don't. You know, because I mean, I think that, you know, I see Damon on here says chivalry is not dead, but you have women trying to play the male role. I disagree.
I agree with some of that.
I disagree.
Now,
I totally disagree.
I feel as though a lot of females today, modern day females, have masculine energy. So they have a lot of masculine, masculine energy, male type energy. So therefore, they are independent. You know, they're into their careers, they're into business, they're into that. So it's a lot of masculine positioning. And if they have children, they're like the males of their household. You know
what, Bobby?
Yeah.
I like you even more because we brought you in as a referee. So Damali, she had escalated. She was getting up on her toes. So you have to explain to her what that was. That's masculine energy. Now she look all back soft and cuddly.
But you know, if you have a female who has that masculine energy, then she is, and she's feminist on top of that, then she's in a very alpha state of mind. You know?
Yeah.
And that's what brings her like that. So when she runs into this guy who's not like that, who's a beta type male.
Oh my God.
You get what I'm saying? There's dominance right there. So therefore she can't really relate to him because she has to control him.
Right.
You know? But the alpha male she can't control.
And that could be a problem, right?
Yeah,
Let me do
and
that.
that problem.
We got so many people
As far as
giving
chivalry
points.
is concerned, you know.
Yeah, I just want to
let's go.
read them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your sister Teresa said, good afternoon. AJ said he's sharing this thing live with all of his 9 to 11 groups. Jeremiah, Maestro Sigalo, just think about that name. He just did some big eyeballs, the sigma sign, and a thumb. So coming from Maestro, that means something. Cowboy Blue said he's in the house, of course. Teresa said, I got you, Charles. I appreciate the love. The Williams family. Gary, what up, Charles? What's up, Gary? I'm just going through shoulder to shoulder, going in the circle. Oh, that's me and you, then, Damali. But
talking about
we got Bobby here.
The sticks here.
I see the sticks right. Oh, I know you go in that circle to somebody do something.
Right.
And your sister said, I don't like violent videos either.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Violent videos. I said music videos, that kind of goes hand in hand.
From AJ. AJ says the father has to make sure his lifestyle is in proper order. The man, father, male relatives teach young black men polite, respectful behaviors towards women and all people. But the men physically in the black community I grew up in on how to defend ourselves.
Oh, let me add the rest so we can we'll unpack it all. Then Mr. Douglas Allen said there are a lot of men that respect women today.
I agree.
They are.
And
I agree.
AJ, catching you, the fathers need to be in their children's lives. That's definitely very important.
Good. Yep.
Teresa said it needs to be restructured. Yes. I seen Michael Brewer said there's a lot of music that's disrespectful to the women.
That's what you were saying, right?
Yep.
It is,
right.
Tamora, what's going on, Tamora?
Hey,
what's going on, sweet
what's
tea?
happening?
She said, music, we are the only race that refer to our women as hoes and beep. Just right there.
Yeah, we are.
Mr. Douglas Allen said it's old school versus new school today. Old school versus new school. You read Mr. Energizer. I see Mr. Larry Cochran on with us. Welcome to the show. Damon Clark, he's out of St. Louis. He said chivalry is not dead, but you have women trying to play the male role.
Yeah.
Kind of what Bobby said. That's that masculine energy. Right. We got to talk about that a little more.
So my daughter says she's held the door open for older people and they didn't even say thank you.
Wow.
And my daughter's 33.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look, Jeremiah Watts, 2 dogs every Tuesday from 6 to 8. If y'all bark at them, they going to bark and bite you back. Remember that.
They don't say bite. They just say bark.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Bite, bark. It sounded the same to me. So he says, no, they just don't feel they have to say thank you. No manners or respect. So he put that in a manners lane. And then I see
that's what I said too.
What Kimmy said.
Yeah.
My sister, Tiffany Harper, said, thank you, baby. With the little man with the glasses on. Damon Clark. I'm trying to get y'all because we love y'all. This is about us and we'll unpack it all.
Right.
Shit. And then you have women that like, oh, this is Damon from St. Louis, not Damon from New Orleans. I think you
got 2 different Damons.
Yeah, but hey, we welcome them all. Hey, one from St. Louis to one from New Orleans. We can get it all.
Right.
And shout out to people in New Orleans, man. We still praying for you guys. Jessica Brown Nelson out of B-Town, Arkansas, where I'm from. She said, hello, good afternoon. She shared it. We appreciate that. Okay, Damali. We got some more to read.
But you didn't read what Damon said. So Damon Clark Sr. said, and then you have women like you just said that if a man speaks to them, they think they trying to be hollered at and then put on an ugly face. Not the ugly face.
Damali, defend your people. What's going on with the ugly face? What does the ugly face mean?
Well, and I think that sometimes we get that confused. So if a guy is doing something nice for you, you take some women, not all women, some women, because I have to, fight battles, even for you, Charles, sometimes. I'm like, girl, Charles do that for everybody. Go sit down. He ain't trying to holler at you. And he married anyway. So go have a seat. Like what Sweet Tea say, take several seats. Go sit down somewhere because that's not what that means. So I think that when people do something nice, then sometimes that misperception. So then that, so some men be like, man, I ain't even doing that, man. I'm just out.
Look at Jeremiah, 2 dogs. He said,
what did Jeremiah say?
We focus on chivalry in public, but treating the women like dirt at home.
You better say that.
Man, that's that's some of them Tyler Perry movies right there. Tyler Perry movies that throw you off. They'll be being all nice and sweet, and then as soon as they walk through the door at home, knockout punch.
Right.
But the moment made a comeback and almost drowned them. Them bubbles was going up. Okay. You saw that movie. But anyway.
So this particular author that I was reading this story about and going back and forth, because of course it is potato, tomato.
Right.
Everybody has their opinions about what it should be. To me, I feel like, it's a matter of respect, period. First of all, you got to respect yourself,
Right.
first and foremost. And if you
Before you
respect
respect
yourself,
anybody else.
then you can respect other people. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just my personal opinion. And that's what I think about the whole situation. I was raised with, like I said, with 6 boys, just like Charles. You were raised with how many aunties?
Oh man, I had about 6, 7 aunties around me, but then I got 3 sisters, my mom, my grandma, everybody having all these girls, so it was a lot, and I was the oldest boy, even though I was young.
Sure.
Oh.
So when you have that dynamic, then you learn how to treat people.
No, you get pinched a lot. It's something about if you get that fat right under that arm and they twist it.
I did. They did me like that too.
It stick with you all your life.
Yeah.
Look, Tiffany, get your brother.
Actually, she know it's true. That pinch get you on your tiptoes, your eyes water up, and you go sit down.
All your jaw.
All
Right.
that jaw.
All that
Ooh,
jaw.
that
Hilarious. But so I will say that, it's about how, a lot of times I feel like it's about how you were raised. If you got that, like you said, you got the pinches and stuff, so you knew don't do that. On my side, I got the brothers and the cousins that's like, don't let no dude do you like that. And if they trying to do you like that, come let us know and we gonna go get them. You know what I'm saying? So you have that dynamic on both sides. But this author says, he believes the way we fix this mess is that it's every black man's responsibility, going to what you said, Bobby, to teach his sons how to become a perfect gentleman and how to treat a lady. Notice I said lady, and he has that in quotation marks, because there's a great multitude of females today who don't qualify as being a lady.
Oh, I'll agree with that.
Well, come on, Bishop, let's preach.
They don't qualify because they haven't been taught how to be a lady.
Thank you.
I saw a show a couple of days ago where a man, he asked this lady, "Do you know how to be a wife?"
Wow.
And she says she's never been taught, so she don't know how to be. She wants to be married.
Yeah.
And she wants to have a husband and children, but does she know how to be? Be a wife.
Right.
So you got to learn how to be a husband. You got to learn how to be a wife if you plan on getting married.
Right.
Let me say this, and I'll try to paint a little picture if it's all right with you
Sure.
guys. Paint a little picture. So right now you deal with a lot of divorce.
Sure.
In Oklahoma, we lead the nation in the Bible Belt. So that lets you know how serious it is. But so I kind of look at it like this. Even if you have a young child that you're raising with chivalry, be nice, be polite, and sometimes that could be read as beta or whatnot. But here's this how I paint the picture. You got a young man, he's now dating the daughter.
Right.
But the daughter, since the daughter don't have the father or grandpa or nobody, she just got mama, grandma, great grandma. That's who she with all the time. That's
auntie.
done with crazy relationships and the aunties.
Right.
So when this 18, 19, 20-year-old come in with her, guess what? He got to try to unpack and work through all the issues that she has, mama have, grandma have, and I think it's too much for the brother to be able to unpack and deal with that because he's just 18, 19, 20 years old. And I see a lot of relationships go bad because everybody trying to project on him what he's going to be later.
Right.
When he's still just trying to figure things out.
So one of the things that is true. One of the things, another thing that this author says is absentee black fatherhood is one of the biggest reasons why many black males today don't know a thing about being a perfect gentleman, especially to their own black women. Too many of our boys are being raised by gangster rap and the streets, which are very contrary to chivalrous conduct and respect for black women. Single mothers are also responsible for how your sons treat the next generation of black women. So respect your sons. Stop walking around naked in front of them. Also, your sons must not see hordes of men in and out of your bedroom. When boys see their own moms being played, laid, and dumped at the hands of thugs, pimps, and other misogynistic males, they become desensitized as to how women are supposed to be treated because of how their own moms allowed themselves to be mistreated.
Wow, you done did a mic drop thing. You trying to drop the mic and end the show,
I'm just saying.
We still got more time on the show. You can't just hit us.
Wow.
That's like what you call a closing argument. you really can't she won the case. But hey, we got some other stuff from our viewers now. Let me throw this in. Okay. So your sister said, that pinch was real. And
you better not holler.
Yeah, Tamora said sometimes our men just intimidated. Not women that do nothing, they just intimidated, right? And then Douglas Allen said, look at the wife and you will know how the man is treating her. That's pretty deep right there. David Clark said, today's youth are being raised by young parents. You haven't been taught right, which that's so true. Mr. AJ says, Some will cop a attitude even when a man make a nice statement just walking by.
Some will.
Damali, what's your thoughts on that? When the guy, now I've seen that before. Okay, hey, pretty lady, and they be like, "Don't start that with me today. I'll slap somebody."
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that response? What's your take on that?
I think that goes back to how you were being treated behind closed doors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So some of that is a trigger. Sometimes it's a trigger about something that has happened to you in times past.
Right.
And so this gentleman is just trying to be nice and just trying to offer you a comment, no strings attached.
Right.
And that you just automatically go for the juggler. You know what I'm saying? Instead of accepting it for what it is. It's just a compliment. Calm down.
Especially if it's not disrespectful.
Right.
Okay, so Michael said, and Michael, him, Madison and Michael are like royalty for EduRec.
Right.
He said, I'm trying my best to show Madison, his young daughter, what is expected out of a man. Absolutely. And show Michael what is expected out of one.
Absolutely.
So teaching her what to expect
and him as well.
What to do. And then Jessica Brown, straight out of the B-Town, Arkansas, says, there are so many women in this world today that have absolutely no respect for themselves. Mm-hmm. Then so many women are just not appreciative for the few good men we have in this world that do try to respect these women, push for, but instead accepting some the few typos in there.
Right.
But we get the point of that.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that, Damali?
I think that we, and that goes back to my original point before we got started down this rabbit hole, was that, we've got to respect ourselves. Right. Just bottom line. And we have to raise a standard for ourselves, and I think that sometimes, and for me, myself, I'm a single person and, I've been married and, ultimately got divorced. And, but I think sometimes that what I found out in my relationship and part of the reason why I am divorced is because sometimes the guy that I was married with too didn't step up to do the things that a man should do.
Right.
In my perspective. And so I went ahead and did those things. And then he's mad at me because I'm doing those things. And I'm like, listen, our family ain't going to fall apart because you've fallen short. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's just a certain level.
Right. And
there's just a certain standard that I have for myself, period. Whether I'm with a guy or without a guy, this is my standard. You know what I mean? And so we can talk about it. We can compromise. We can say, hey, because I think communication is key in any relationship, but we've got to have a conversation and come to a consensus about whose role is what or how we do things.
Are you willing to follow a man who's wanting to lead?
I am.
And actually follow him.
Sure.
Whether your standards are a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Your standard certain level, and he's feeling like maybe you need to pull your standard down a little bit. Are you willing to compromise that?
Right. As long as you can articulate to me how this compromise is going to be a win for our family. Mm-hmm. It can't be just because it's your comfort level. You know what I'm saying? Because So therefore it can't be what he wants as the leader in the head. So therefore, if you're not in agreement with it, then it's not going to be that, right? No, not saying that, because I'm very flexible.
Okay.
And so I'm willing to listen. I'm willing, and that's where we need to talk and have deeper conversations.
Damali, don't go buy that car. I don't want you to get that car.
Oh, she going to get it.
And no, but
depends. It depends.
It don't depend.
If it's Miss Sassy out here, I'm going to get that car.
You know what I mean? No. Don't go get that car. I don't think because economically and gas-wise and so on. Sure. I know you like it because it's pretty and it looks good, but blah, blah, don't go get that car.
Right.
And you got it made up in your mind, well, I want that car. I'm going to go get it.
See, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do something that's going to compromise our family and create a problem within our, in our household.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to fight with you and be battling back and forth with my significant
because
other.
It's going to be a battle.
It's going to be a battle. It's going, so I'm like, well, I really want the car, but okay, cool.
Hey, Damali, read that next comment that just popped up. I think it's pretty deep. You see that one at the bottom?
The bottom. In Oklahoma, unwed fathers.
You got to start with the person's name. You got to give them a shout out.
Oh, Maya.
Maya is in the building. I think she said something pretty
What is
deep.
she talking about?
She says in Oklahoma, unwed fathers have to go to court to establish rights. The first man a daughter falls in in love with is her father, and the first love of a son is his mother. We have great fathers within our community that are being denied access to their children in many instances. Maya, you just hit the nail on the head.
Boy, oh boy.
I hate that.
We lose, men lose.
That is one of my pet peeves.
My thing is, when a couple divorces,
right?
Why do all the children go to just the woman?
Right. Most of the time.
The majority of the time, they go to all the females. The judge awards custody. She keeps the kids.
I think that it has to be established who is the primary custodian. Period. So who is taking the kids to all their football games, basketball games?
What about parents who don't do that at all?
Right.
You know what I mean? And still get the custody of the child.
I think this is my 2 cents. Right. I love y'all my people.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because we really on just this chivalry dead.
Right.
Now we're finna be in the courts with child support.
Yeah, right. We all in a whole nother area.
Coming to the show. And I know we got some hump day hot topics to get to, but I want to get Mr. Energizer's comment because he's an ambassador. And then with that, we'll take a break and then we'll come back with our hump day hot topics.
Well, can we go ahead and answer Maya's question? I mean, or
we can
respond to that. So Maya, in response to what you're saying, women who deny their children access to their father, I think is wrong. And I'll just say that I did divorce work for 25 years in the legal system, and I saw it all the time.
Right.
And it wasn't just black folks, it's black folks, white folks, Indian folks, because they use those kids as pawns to get back at the individual for whatever reason,
And that can affect chivalry.
Exactly.
Because
that's where I
if
was
the
getting
dad
to.
don't have access to his son, and he may have 2 or 3 sons.
Thank you.
Then how can you expect for him to teach his son what he really needs to know?
Yes.
When you don't give him access in the court system. See, that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother
talk about in another segment of being black in America. Let's talk about us.
Right.
Let's get Mr. Energizer, Damon Clark, and then we'll take a quick break and come back with those hot topics.
Okay. So
I'll start with Mr. Energizer. He said, could it be partly... Well, you go ahead and read that.
Could it be partly that our babies having babies and raising babies?
Right.
My grandmother would always tell the young girls in the family, if you don't keep your legs closed and your dress pulled down, I'm going to beat the fire out of your tail. I love grandmas. Right. Yes.
Grandmas.
Yes.
Damon Clark said, fear factor is real in the world. Our elders feared our youth and our elders do fear our youth. They be like, I ain't messing with these little kid. Scared of what society and media has portrayed the youth as, because you got them at shooting, I'm gonna shoot you in the head, I'm gonna do this and that, so you just be like, man, I don't even want to try to address.
And see, it used to be back in the day.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, because grandma, all she had to do was look at me, baby, I'm crying. But now kids, they cuss their grandmas out, and it's who is you talking to?
I'll say this with all our listeners and us, we have concluded that chivalry is not dead. It's on life support. It's dead-ish, but at least we focusing on it, and let's see the things that we can do to bring it back, because we're talking about black in America. We're talking about us. Yeah. It ain't that many of us. Right. We want to love, support.
We need to talk about this topic again.
We probably
and hit this one more time.
Time. So thanks, man. You guys have been amazing, but we do have hump day hot topics because you got hurricanes out here. You got other stuff going on. Yeah. 9/11 happened 20 years ago. We got to talk about a little bit of that. So stay tuned in. We'll be right back. This is KBOB 89.9 FM. Next up, hump day hot topics.
EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the all-new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the all-new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
Hey, guess what day it is?
Hump Day!
Hump Day! It's Hump Day!
Yeah.
Hey, Mike! Mike!
Hey, Mike!
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on news you can use.
I love Hump Day Hot Topics. Funny.
Yes.
You know, first of all, before we get to that, I just want to thank everybody for all of your comments. You know, we appreciate that. And we're going to revisit this topic and talk about chivalry because this is pretty, maybe we can come up with a solution.
And maybe we can get it off life support.
Okay. Yeah, we want to try to.
We'll say chivalry is now walking around the block exercising, trying to get
trying to build it up.
Trying to build it back up.
All right. Hump Day Hot Topic number 1, Julius Jones. You know, we've been talking about this ever since we started doing our radio show over a year ago or a year and a half ago. Julius Jones is a death row prisoner, and despite maintaining his innocence and compelling evidence that he was wrongfully convicted, he remains on death row after over 20 years. On March 8th, the Pardon and Parole Board voted 3-1 to move his case to a second stage of review. We just got an update a couple of weeks ago that on August 26th, the new Attorney General, John O'Connor, who was just appointed by Governor Stitt on July 23rd of 2021, filed a request for an execution date of October 28th. Now, mind you, there have been no executions in the state of Oklahoma since 2015.
Right.
But we're filing, a few days after I've been in office for an execution date.
Of a brother that the situation is already kind of up in limbo.
Right.
But that's what you want to do.
Right. So the Pardon and Parole Board met on August 31st to decide that the commutation hearing set for September 13th would remain, and they decided that it would not. And so they are now set for a clemency hearing for October 5th.
Right.
Which, is bad news, but it could be also good news because Julius now is going to be able to have an opportunity to speak on his behalf. Some of his family members will be able to speak, and his attorney will be able to speak.
Can I say this?
Yes.
It's going to be amazing to hear his voice. This man has been on death row for 20 years. Mm-hmm. But the voice that the people going to need to hear is from the guys and girls or men and women listening on these microphones right now.
Absolutely.
It's going to be us that's gonna make his voice echo and be loud enough for them to do the right thing.
Right. Absolutely. So we need for you to make sure that your voices are in sentiments about Julius Jones and this case are heard by the Pardon and Parole Board, which means we need you to go to www.justiceforjuliusjones.com.
Right.
There you can actually speak or actually find a letter that you can pull off for the Pardon and Parole Board. There's also a letter that you can pull off and print out and sign to send to Governor Stitt.
Right.
There's also other information. There's a docuseries by Viola Davis that talks about Julius Jones's case, and there's a plethora of other information there that you can learn. So you can learn about this case and become educated before you start being a follower.
Because what you have to understand, because we talking about being black in America, let's talk about us. Mm-hmm. Every time I look at the news, some brothers getting released after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years for something or some crime that they did not commit.
Yes.
But you can't come back from somebody executing you.
Right.
So October 5th is like tomorrow in my mind. Mm-hmm. So there has been a lot of love and respect and the light has been shined on this.
Right.
But now we're getting down to game time and like it's justice and it's Julius Jones right now. And it could be you, me, one of our uncles or cousins tomorrow.
Yeah, so let's not be a part of allowing the system to fail this young man.
Right.
So go to justiceforjuliusjones.com. Okay, next hot topic. Hurricane Larry
is on the way.
I'm like, man, these hurricanes is getting outrageous, right? So for those of you who don't know, let's just talk about this. First of all, hurricane season runs June 1st through November 30th.
Right.
So it scan, and that's in the Atlantic, okay? In the the Eastern Pacific, it runs from May 15th to November 30th. So, there's a series of hurricanes that during this time, May through November, there's hurricanes kind of happening all the time. And, you just kind of brace for it and be prepared for it.
Right.
It looks like, so far we've had 5 kind of devastating hurricanes that have happened and that have actually made landfall this season. We've had Danny, Elsa, Fred, Henri, and Ida. And so it looks like they're saying that Hurricane Larry is actually not going to make landfall in the United States.
Wow.
It's going to kind of churn out there. It's a Category 3. They're talking about it's got 115 mile per hour winds and all of that, but it looks like it's going to miss us. So we might get a little rainwater, but other than that, we're going to miss out on that whole
thing. And prayers for all the families out there on the coast, especially down in New Orleans. It was a million people without lights and all of that. So we praying for you guys, and we see that that FEMA and different people are getting out and getting down there. So continue to pray for those families down there on the coast, New Orleans, down in that area.
I don't know how many of you guys this week are actually watching all of the September 11th movies and, docuseries and stuff that are actually playing leading up to Saturday,
right?
Which is going to be the 20th anniversary.
20 years.
20 years of the, when militants actually came, 19 militants associated with the Islamic extremist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 planes and carried out suicide attacks against targets in the United States. 2 of the planes were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York. A third plane hit the Pentagon just outside Washington, D.C., and a 4th plane crashed into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Because of that, almost 3,000 people were killed during that terrorist attack. And it also triggered major U.S. incentives to combat terrorism and define the presidency of George W. Bush.
Absolutely.
So, when that happened, I'm sure everybody in the world can remember what they were doing on 9/11.
Oh, absolutely.
That was in 2001, but I remember it just like it was yesterday.
Right.
I remember, one of the buildings downtown, the Bank of America building is actually patterned after the Twin Towers.
Wow.
And I was actually on the 27th floor working at in Scott Johnson's office,
right,
law office, and I remember when that plane hit. And we were terrified because we were thinking, oh, my God, are they targeting planes?
In the building.
Yeah, we're way up here in the air. Of course, our building was not nearly as tall as the World Trade Towers, but, it was made by the same builder. We didn't know what was going on. And, we watched on TV in horror as those buildings came down. And, we were just bawling. I remember everybody in our office was just shocked.
Yeah, that was a tough day. And it's just crazy that it was 20 years ago. A lot of these young kids don't even know about that, but I remember I was at work and looking at it like it was a movie. Kids was looking,
unbelievable,
and everybody just sitting there with their eyes open and their mouth open. And I remember Bush was reading a book to some kids, and they went over here, and one plane just crashed, and it was just a lot of stuff. But we bounced back.
Yeah,
we did it the American way. We bounced back.
Yeah.
We back on the move, but we have to remember all of the firemen and all the first responders. That's why we always give a shout out to our police department and our fire department and EMS and all of them first responders, because when things like this happen, typically we run from it, they run toward it. And it's a big difference. So we want to just take some time, to love and appreciate them. And
then honor all those lives lost.
Honor all of them.
Yeah. So to all the families, our prayers are still with you, because I'm sure even 20 years later, the sting still is the same.
Absolutely.
So check this out. I found this feel-good story, and I just love this. So a young Tennessee mother, school just started,
right?
And people are always frantic. I remember when my daughters were in school and just trying to get their clothes together, get their hair done, do all this. It's real, right? It's real. So there's a young Tennessee mother who was inspired because she was surprised by a family member or a family friend who actually purchased her kids' school clothes and school supplies for her. So she didn't have to do anything. So she thought, you know what? That was such a nice gesture that I want to pay that forward.
Wow.
So what she decided is her skill in her craft was braiding. She could braid. So she just actually put an ad out there and just said, hey, I'll braid your daughter's hair for free.
Right.
For school as a blessing. And she thought she would get, 5 or 10 people,
right.
She ended up getting 35 people that wanted to get their hair done. But you know what?
Yes.
She went ahead and got her some other people to help her.
Right.
And they braided all those little girls' hair and got them all set and ready to go to school. So I thought that was just,
story.
That is just, amazing when we talk about Black folks taking care of one another. She received a blessing, and so she decided to be a blessing.
Right.
That's what we got to do in our community today.
That's why I keep saying we doing this whole series, Being Black in America, Let's Talk About Us. And that's a feel-good story. And there's probably a lot of that going on with a grandma or grandpa or somebody in the neighborhood, but we need to tell those stories sometime versus a lot of the crazy stuff that go on.
Yes.
That's a great story.
So you know what? I got a bit of bad news.
Uh-oh.
Guess what, y'all? It's another virus out there.
Get out of here.
Yes, but listen, so this is the thing. News you can use is by giving you some information that you need to know, right? And so we got caught slipping with this coronavirus.
It rolled up on us.
Rolled up on us. Everybody was trying to minimize it, and act like it wasn't no big deal.
You know what happened?
And we wasn't ready.
I got food because somebody told me to get my Easter suit ready because by Easter it was going to be gone.
Yep.
So I went with that because I'm like, based on this person's position, I'm going to go get my Easter. I'm going to be in there with my Sunday best on. It was nothing like that.
Nothing like
by the
that.
time Easter came by.
So I just want to tell y'all about this virus. Don't know where it's going to go. It might not even make it to the United States, but we didn't think Corona was going to make it here, and it's here. And it looked like it ain't going nowhere for a minute. So this is called the Nipah virus. Nipah. It's the Nipah virus. It was first discovered in Malaysia and Singapore in 1999 after multiple pigs and people became sick. Okay. Right. And then, so far, all of the outbreaks have occurred in Asia, but it's classified as a zoonotic virus that initially spreads from animals to people. It can also be transmitted through contaminated food and directly between people.
Right.
It's not related to the COVID-19.
Man, this is something totally different.
But it may have the same originating source, which are bats.
You know what I think about, Damali? When the Delta variant was barely moving, we talked just like this on the air.
Right.
There's a Delta variant out there that they say is coming, and it was months before it got here.
Right.
So I'm just glad we have something like news you can use to let you know that you need to get your eyes and ears open, because now when we hear about these viruses, they show up on our doorstep.
Exactly. So now we got the Mu virus, which is the new variant of COVID-19. So the Delta and the Mu are actually, happening. And then now we got this Nipah virus, which we need to just keep an eye on. Right now it's over in Asia, but hey, and let me just tell you some of the symptoms. That was one of the things I pulled out of this little article here. So the symptoms of this infected people can experience sore throat, fever, headaches, and muscle pains. If the infection progresses, dizziness and altered consciousness can be signs of this.
You know what I don't like about all these diseases and all these things is that they all seem like a cold or a flu start.
Exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say.
You got a fever, but you don't know what direction you heading in.
Don't have no idea.
You're thinking, I just got a cough, and next thing you know, you're on a ventilator. So it's just like you can't separate.
So people just be careful.
Be careful. Be safe.
Be safe. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Sanitize. Let's just do that.
Get you some distance.
Get you some distance.
I want to do a quick shout out because I got my guy Bo Pete from Arkansas just tuned in. Welcome to the show. Got Sam D. Williams. Damali mentioned that, and our referee started putting on sanitizer, and he put on 4 masks right now. And I understand.
Right. Okay. So, did you know fact?
Yes. I'm ready for
I don't know where we come up with this stuff sometimes, but anyway. So we're gonna talk about Uncle Tom.
Boy, people been saying Uncle Tom for as long as I can remember. You ain't nothing but old Uncle Tom.
Well, guess what? We're going to talk about who Uncle Tom is today.
You're not calling me Uncle Tom, are you? Because I can tell you right now, we can go outside right now.
But check it out. Once you find out who Uncle Tom is, you might want to be him.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Yeah. Once you find out.
Hey, all y'all listening in, Damali said we all might want to be an Uncle Tom. I want to hear this. Did you know fact? All right, come on.
Check this out. Uncle Tom was a man who refused to beat black women. Uncle Tom was a man who refused to tell on other slaves. Uncle Tom was a man who put cotton in other slaves' bags at night so they wouldn't get beat. Uncle Tom was a man who helped 100 slaves get free long before the Underground Railroad.
Wow.
Uncle Tom was a man that once free established the first laborer school for other fugitive slaves. Okay. His real name was Josiah Henson. Josiah Henson was an author, an abolitionist, a minister. He was born into slavery in Port Tobacco, Charles County, Maryland. He escaped to Upper Canada in 1830 and founded a settlement and laborer school for other fugitive slaves at Don near Dresden in Kent County, Upper Canada of British Canada. So stop calling these sellouts Uncle Tom. That's a compliment. It's Sambo that was the sellout that would do anything for a slave master's approval.
Where's Sambo at? I'm looking for Sambo now. Call me Uncle Tom and give me a hat and a shirt.
Right.
I'm looking for Sambo. You're going to have to let us know about Sambo next week.
Okay.
We're going to see about, because so Uncle Tom, it's crazy how you can just be misinformed. And not know. Now think about how long. See, that's why you got to listen to World One Development News you can use right here on KBOB, because you can find out some stuff you need to know so you won't be out here sounding crazy.
Yeah, and saying stuff that you don't even know what you're talking about.
You have no idea.
Yeah. So
that's
Uncle Tom.
Good. Did you know fact?
Yes.
Uncle Tom is all right with me.
Okay. Damon said true information about Uncle Tom. See, Damon, know.
He was on top of it.
Okay.
Hey, Bo P said, great information. Thanks again for the news you can use.
All right. So upcoming events. Don't forget, if you are looking to have a birthday party, quinceañera, banquet, wedding, vendor fair, or any other event, the 36th Street North Event Center has dates available.
Yes.
If you book before September 30th, you'll receive a 20% discount.
Hey, and it was voted top mid-sized venue, and it has a 5-star rating.
You better ask somebody. So don't forget to give us a call at 918-200-9046 to reserve your spot.
Do it today.
Prayer Time Grief Counseling, Pastors Chloe and Doug Allen. You know, this happens every Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. The number to call is 717-275-8940. Don't forget to put in the code 615-876.
Yes, and Pastor Allen was on, and he said Shivery is not dead. That's what he said. We said life support. He said it's not dead. But give them a call because life is happening kind of crazy right now.
Yes.
Don't deal with this stuff alone. Too many people are committing suicide and things like that. Hey, get you a coach.
Exactly.
And they the right ones.
Tulsa Tech North Peoria campus will be offering $1 haircuts on Monday through Thursdays from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. For more information, call Chuck Jones at 918-828-2063.
Damali, I done concluded.
What?
That's the best thing cooking in the kitchen.
Okay.
A $1 haircut. Where can you go get a haircut for under $25 right now?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know a place you can go. So you can go to Tulsa Tech, meet my boy Chuck, get your kids haircut for 100 pennies.
Yes, absolutely.
100 pennies.
Yes. 4 quarters, you know. Just pull that change out the car ashtray.
10 dimes.
Right.
You in there.
You in there. You winning and not losing. All right. Rent and utility assistance is still available. Don't forget to go to the website, erap.restorehope.org. I'll say that again, erap.restorehope.org.
Right.
All right. Oasis Fresh Market is open Monday through Saturday from 7 o'clock a.m. until 10 o'clock p.m. and Sundays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m.
And I wanted to add to that, Oasis is putting together a community advisory team.
Yes.
They are working on e-commerce delivery, and it's coming very, very soon. So stay tuned, online and delivery, with the goal of delivering free food to people in North Tulsa or residents that need it.
You know what? I hate grocery shopping. I really hate it. So to be able to order my food and have Oasis deliver them to the event center, baby, I'm in there. I'm in there like swimwear.
No, you but they deliver it for free.
That's what I'm saying. That's even better. That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to say nothing else, so I'm ready to go home now. Hey, free food delivered to my house for free. AJ,
and you ain't got to go get it.
AJ, you and your staff over there at Oasis Fresh Market. Here's the thing, Damali, you got to understand, we are creatures of habit.
Yes.
You need to make your habit going to Oasis Fresh Market when they're doing things like this for you. We need to keep them dollars circulating so those metrics look like right, so you get more and more grocery stores.
Right. Okay, don't forget to be on the lookout for your opportunity to provide input and your opinions on the Kirkpatrick Heights and Greenwood master planning process.
Yes, indeed.
We will be hosting a couple of pop-up events this month and a group of informative information in October. So for more information, go to www.ourlegacytulsa.org.
Absolutely.
You know, and so just make sure, you know, like we told you guys before, you know, we are part of the community engagement. Yes. And that's why we're going to be making this announcement every week. And we're going to be giving you updates every week because we want your input and we want to hear what you have to say because we want to make sure that our voices are heard. And the city of Tulsa is giving us this platform. So let's take advantage of it.
Give that website one more time so they can write this down.
So it's www.ourlegacytulsa.org.
Go be informed.
Okay. All right. And let's see what's next. The Lion, which stands for Leaders in Our Neighborhoods Party, presents the North Tulsa Give Back, which is happening September 18th from 2 o'clock p.m. until 8 o'clock p.m. at Chandler Park.
Yes.
They're going to be giving out school uniforms, shoes, undergarments, toiletries, free haircuts, look good and feel good. There's going to be Italian ice. They're going to have rappers and singers and poets and motivational speakers. There's going to be Jupiter jumps, basketball games, the ice cream truck, barbecue, and more.
Girl, it is going down.
It's going down. So for more information, you can email thelionparty918@gmail.com if you want to make a donation. because it's always good to donate to the kids. That's
Yes.
our next generation. They're our future. You can do you can donate at Cash App, the Lion Party 918.
Jamal, I think me and you need to be there.
I know, just
We
for
gonna
the,
be
the
live.
food, I can bring some school supplies. I
Well,
got some.
Yeah, you
I
said
can
the
drop 'em
right
off.
thing. I'm there because of the food and the kids.
Yeah.
I said food first. I'm
He
sorry.
said food first. He mean food,
But I'm
y'all.
there for the kids,
Don't
too.
play. Whatever.
I love the kids.
Right. Don't forget to get your real ID before October 1st, 2021. There's a Tulsa Mega Center located at 7130 South Lewis Avenue, Suite 190. No appointment is needed. They're doing driver's license and ID renewals and replacements for Class D, CDLs, and ID cards, as well as real ID. So you don't have no excuse to not have your real ID. And I know a couple of people who actually went down there and they said it was that real quick.
1,
You
2,
walked
3.
in and it was done.
It ain't always gonna be at some point 1,000 people gonna be in line. You got to mask, you got to be distant, got sanitizer. Go and get the stuff right now. We've been talking about this for about 4 months now.
Right.
I got
right.
mine.
I got mine.
So you better get yours.
Yes. Okay. Black Tony Survives COVID comedy show. Is going to be happening at the 36th Street North Event Center on November the 6th at 7:30 p.m. It's presented by 105.3. Listen, we do not have tickets. We just want y'all to know.
We don't.
We don't have no tickets, so don't call us about no tickets. You got to go to Ticket Storm, or you can call K-Jams to get your tickets, or you can call 866-966-1777. Now, I do know that the tickets range from $35 to $65.
Right.
I do know that, but don't call us for tickets because we don't have none.
But I tell you what we do have. We got a red carpet with some velvet ropes.
Okay.
I guarantee you that. We're going to be ready for you when you get there.
Right? Exactly. And okay, so birthdays. Pastor Stephen Wiley's birthday is September the 8th.
That's my guy. Happy birthday, brother.
September the 10th is Representative A.J. Pittman, Ken Barnes, Justin Daniels, and Arlisha Walker.
That's a whole lot was going on during that time. I'm calling y'all parents.
Okay, right?
Happy birthday, though.
September 11th, Ivory Wells, a.k.a. Fudd, one of my motorcycle friends.
What
This
up?
is his birthday.
What up? You need to ride for your birthday, brother.
Okay. September 12th, Kiore and Jess Eddie.
That's my sister and my brother.
Okay.
Happy
Both of their
birthday to all
birthdays.
y'all.
Exactly.
Hey, your girl, our friend, your sister, my sister, Jennifer Brown said, I love you guys' show.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. You were so awesome.
We love your show, too, and you.
So what is Michael talking about? I'm still going to text you. See, Michael he play too much.
See? That's
childish. Just absolutely childish. All right. So don't forget, you can purchase News You Can Use gear,
Yes.
like my shirt that I have on today.
It's nice, too.
Yes, and it's comfortable. I love it. Absolutely love it. But you can purchase News You Can Use gear and continue the conversation on our podcast at www.newsyoucanuse.tv. We're also available, guys. We are so excited because we are available on most podcast sites.
Yes.
Which we're talking like Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Stitcher, Alexa, Castro, Podchaser, Deezer, Player FM, Roku, Podfriend, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Pocket Cast. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
That's good
so
stuff.
you can get to us. So right now, what we're doing is we're uploading. We've got a year and a half worth of shows.
Great stuff.
Yeah, and so we're uploading all of that information. It's gonna be there. You can go back and watch all of our shows and everything. And we're producing new shows as we speak. We actually shot for 4 or 5 hours last Sunday.
We've been shooting.
Yeah. So we got some great stuff coming. So make sure you go to newsyoucanuse.tv.
Yes.
On Roku, you can download our app. On Apple TV, you can download the app. So there's all these different places you can go and actually watch News You Can Use. So if you missed the show, there's still ways for you to see us.
And just like you said, that we've had a lot of people on today. Thank you to Bobby for coming in, being a co-pilot with us and flying us and trying to get us where we can land. We appreciate that. And for all of your comments and everything that you said, it was wonderful because that's what it's about. It's about us giving news you can use to each other. Right?
Yes,
Molly, what else you got to say with your cool tank top on?
If you want to reach us, you can reach us on any of our social media platforms. That is World One Development, 36th Street North Event Center, EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, or Fitting Back In Prison Reintegration Program.
And for the last time, share this show because we went over a lot of good information. So share it so your friends and family can see it. But we got to get ready to get out of here. This has been... But I'll tell you one other thing. If you want to help us stay on, please consider donating to Eden Media Services to help our community radio continue to stay on the air. You can send your donation made payable to Eden Media Services to 1533 North Norfolk Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74106. And we got people from the East Coast to the West Coast, so the checks are good everywhere. We do a lot for the community.
Yes.
But we got to get out of here, guys. We love you guys. This has been News You Can Use with Charles Harper. That's me.
And Damali Wilson. That's me.
And we are live every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So make sure you tune in.
If you would like to promote or advertise your events or business on our show, inbox us on Facebook at World One Development. This has been World One Development's News You Can Use with Charles Harper and Damali Wilson. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the host and their guests, and not necessarily to this station, organization, committee, or other group or individual associated with KBOB 89.9. This is World One Development's News You Can Use.